In the Philippines, there is nothing more controversial than the word divorce. Well, at least it's one of them. Now, divorce has long been a controversial topic in the Philippines and is, by the way, illegal. But now, a divorce law would actually be possible. So in May 2024, the Philippine House of Representatives again sought to implement the Absolute Divorce Act, which would legalize divorce in the Philippines. One way we can see this as a very big move is that, did you know that divorce is illegal only in the Philippines and Vatican City itself? So, let's talk about it. But first, let's talk about annulment. So annulment is possible in the Philippines, but why are many Filipinos very vocal against divorce when the process of annulment already exists? That's because divorce and annulment in a way are the same by separating the married partners. Pero divorce is a legal process that dissolves a marriage according to civil law, while annulment declares a marriage invalid. So we can see that divorce and annulment are in a way different. So here's an example. Let's say you worked for a company ng 10 years. Pero masyado nang toxic yung work environment mo. Masyado na ring unreasonable yung mga demands. And maybe you observe na unfair yung treatment nila sa'yo. And also, parang nine-neglect ka na ng mga supervisors mo like hindi ka na nila ginaguide. So, you resigned. So, you would still get your documents, you take home all your stuff from the office, you receive your back pay, pero you no longer work in that company. That's divorce. However, let's say that you worked for the company for 10 years and you actually found out that the company is a fraud or hindi ethical yung practices nila. And you don't want your name to be connected to that company anymore. So you wish as if you never worked there. Kaya you take all of your papers and then burn them. You take all of your things and put it in the trash. And you never talk about those 10 years in that company again. That's annulment. So annulment exists. Why then is divorce controversial? As we know, the Philippines is composed of a majority of Roman Catholics. In Christianity, marriage is a sacred union created by God, intended to be lifelong and indissoluble. So basically, ang kasalan ay dapat forever. Now the thing is, when partners divorce, they still have a record of being married before in human laws. So they may see this as wrong because a person cannot be married again, you know? Because they have a record of being married before. However, annulment erases every single bit of their marriage, so it's like they were never married and they are single again. It's kind of complicated, yeah, but here's another important thing. One of the reasons why this would be controversial is that the valid reasons to do both divorce or annulment are different. For annulments, based on the family code, the grounds to process annulment are a lack of parental consent, insanity or psychological incapacity of the partner, fraud, intimidation, or undue influence, impotence, and sexually transmittable diseases. However, the divorce bill extends these grounds to include abusive conduct, coercion, imprisonment, addiction, bigamy, infidelity, abandonment, mental incapacity, fraudulent consent, gender reassignment, and irreconcilable marital differences. Furthermore, divorce is cheaper to process, more straightforward, and faster than annulment. The divorce bill aims to address situations such as abuse that are not covered by annulment, which only invalidates marriages due to pre-existing conditions, mga kondisyon na meron na before pa noong kasalan, like fraud, mental incapacity, or lack of consent. So as we can see, for example, abuse is not a valid reason for annulment. Addiction is not a valid reason for annulment. Even infidelity, cheating is not a valid reason for annulment. Now, yung opposition to the divorce bill in the Philippines is more on the concerns about protecting the sanctity of marriage, potential negative impacts on families and children, and the adherence or pagsunod sa religious and cultural values na nag-emphasize ng permanence of marriage. Kasi nga, marriage is supposed to be forever. Critics also argue that the existing provisions, yung mga conditions na minention natin kanina for annulment and legal separation are sufficient to address these issues without introducing divorce. Now, netizens in the Philippines have mixed reactions to the divorce bill. Supporters argue that it provides a necessary escape from abusive and dysfunctional marriages, giving women and children a chance to avoid intolerable situations. Now, usually naman sa opposition, it's often influenced by religious beliefs, and they view it as a threat to the traditional family values and morality. But let's think about it. If the conditions apply to you, then you are given the possibility of more freedom to legally end your relationship. If the reasons for your relationship being unhealthy is akma dun sa mga bagong grounds na maaaring iset nung divorce bill if passed. Now, if it doesn't apply to you, that is also good. And hopefully, mas marami pang Pilipino ang nasa healthy relationship as you are. Now, this is a very important topic, expectedly. This will bring in a lot of changes to how families in the Philippines work. Kasi with the divorce law, it could also affect children, yung mga bata and relatives. And it will surely influence tradition, cultural, and religious views on marriage in a mostly Catholic country. So guys, what do you think?